Everybody, welcome to another episode of Cigar Chat, and I'm here today with my friend Sal.
How you guys doing out there?
And today we're going to go ahead and smoke the Serafin de Cuba. Oh, I'm sorry, Tarpon Sponger.
Tarpon Sponger. That's
Sponger.
an awesome cigar.
3 wrappers Perfecto, which has been a hit. Here's yours.
Thank you, sir.
But today's episode is actually gonna be on Al Capone.
Al Capone.
And the mob here in Tampa, in the Tampa Bay area in the 20s. And it just so happens that he was actually in several places. Notably, up in Hernando County, there's a little place called Bayport, which is right on the water.
Yep.
You know where it is.
Yep.
It's right by Wikiwachi, right outside of the Mermaids. So anyway, up in Bayport, the reason I brought it up is because they used to bring in rum from Cuba during the Prohibition days. And the legend is, and you know what I've been able to find out, is it would come in through the Gulf, up into Bayport, and then they would put it like on wagons and stuff because it's very rustic out there. It's kind of like the swamps. And then they would transport it down here into the local places, mostly in Tampa and stuff. And one place that I found out that Capone used to hang out in, Al Capone himself, is the Hacienda Hotel here in nearby Newport Richey. And the legend is the Hacienda Hotel has a secret tunnel underneath it. And that tunnel was where they would bring in the Prohibition from. Yeah, through, you know what I mean?
And then he had in Moon Lake,
Right.
Moon Lake, Florida, he had a hangout joint where they used to hang out at, and then they burnt it down.
And that's in Newport Richey too.
Yes, and that's in Newport Richey, and I have actually taken my jet ski out there and rode around it. It's still there. It's only burnt down wood, but you could tell where it was.
Right. And then the other place that he actually had a house here in Tarpon Springs. Let me fire up my cigar here. I'm using the torch today.
Al Capone was a notorious gangster, man.
He was
real
crazy.
Notorious. He was an incredible gangster.
Actually, I'll tell you guys a story about that. My dad's best friend, who's like an uncle to me, who sadly he just passed away about 2 months ago, Virgilio. He had 2 uncles, okay? These guys were from northern Spain, from Galicia. They left Spain and they went to Chicago. And in Chicago, they were involved in a bunch of rackets. This was, I think, during the 30s. 20s or 30s, I can't remember. Anyway, they're involved in a bunch of rackets with the Capone family.
Yes.
With his people.
Yep. He had a lot of people.
And anyway, somehow, it was 3 brothers. One of them got killed. There was a problem in the family. One of them got killed. So then they went ahead and they left Chicago and they went to Cuba. Years later, they came back to Chicago, avenged the death of their brother, and then they hid out in Cuba. And that was an amazing story that he used to tell me that story all the time. God, I wish I could have recorded it because it was an incredible story. And years later, he told me that he had relatives of his that contacted him, and they were the sons and daughters of those uncles that he had. But I'm sorry, they didn't. When that happened, they fled to the west coast of the United States. That's what it was. They went to California. So he says these people contacted him out of the blue, and they were the same last name. I'm not going to mention it, but he couldn't believe it, and they were the sons and daughters of, the descendants of his uncles, basically his cousins that he never met until then. And there was a lot of wacky stuff that went on during those days.
But that
because he wasn't only involved just in Chicago. I mean,
he was all over.
He was all over.
But back then, the mob was the mob. You know what I mean? It was true. Yeah. It was true.
The
old school mob was.
Oh, forget about it.
Forget it. They took no shit.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
He actually had a house here in Tarpon Springs, which we just researched it. Unfortunately, the house was demolished in 2001 or something.
2001, and it was they had another house rebuilt on the property. So we can't go out there and video that because it ain't the property and
that's
the house
why we can't
that was
do
on there. So
maybe we can find some pictures. We're gonna try.
We're gonna try to upload some pictures of it.
In the meantime, though, we will upload pictures of the house in Miami, which is still standing.
Yes, we got those pictures.
Yeah, with the one in St. Pete too, because the one in St. Pete's beautiful. The one in Miami is beautiful. He had a house in Havana as well.
That was the year of, actually, February 13th, 1931.
Oh, that's when he came to Tarpon.
That's when he came to Tarpon Springs.
He was there in Tarpon Springs in 1931.
That's when he bought the house.
And he was hanging out here at the sponge docks and everything. And he came out here to the sponge docks to see the sponges and went to the sponge exchange. Pretty cool story. I mean, I wish today we had a museum here in town. I can't believe that never happened.
But they have a nice one in Las Vegas.
You know what? Yeah, the mob museum.
That
Yep,
is the
that's
mob
very cool.
museum. Is beautiful. I seen it on TV.
That is awesome.
It's beautiful. I would love to go there one day. We should go there one day.
We're gonna do that. Maybe we'll film an episode from there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
If this whole YouTube thing continues, you know.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
Anyway, I went to Bayport this morning, so I got that video. I got that footage for you guys. It's basically out in swamplands. Nothing out there. We also got film of the Hacienda Hotel, which is a very cool Spanish-style hotel, 1920 style. You guys can appreciate how pretty it is. They're actually in the process of renovating it, so that's gonna happen pretty soon.
A lot of Al Capone's the hotel is in a lot of these movies today.
I know. Remember the Untouchables?
That was in. Yep.
What
that
an
was in
amazing.
there.
De Niro. I mean, I know he's a little wacky and stuff, but what a great role he played as Al Capone in that.
Yeah,
movie.
he did.
He's
He did.
unbelievable. But is there anything else you want to add about this?
I love talking about this. This is mob news. You know what I mean? This is something that's up my alley. As a kid growing up in Brooklyn, this is what I was around. You know what I mean? I always watched the TVs, and I was always like, why was I infatuated with the mob? You know what I mean? I just love the history
Yeah,
behind
me too.
it.
In Jersey, God.
It's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? It's camaraderie. It's La Familia. You know what I mean? Like today, a lot of kids don't know about.
They don't
They
get it.
don't get it. They just don't get it. You know what I mean? And I implement in my kids. You know what I mean? You got to be real. You know what I mean?
For sure. When I was a little kid in Jersey, in Union City, my hometown, Union City, New Jersey, there was a little club on the corner of 42nd and Park Avenue. It was called the Warriors Club. And all these guys did all day long was play cards and sit around and tell war stories. Because, they were all veterans. They served their country honorably. But these guys were, they were pretty connected guys. And I remember as a kid, I'd walk in there and they were always so nice to me. They were sitting around playing cards, and they used to call me Little Raymond. They're like, come on in, Little Raymond. There was two guys, Vinny and Joe. I remember those guys still to this day. And they would take me in, and they kept an eye on the neighborhood. They knew what the hell was going on. It was back then. It was mostly Cuban, mostly Italian in that neighborhood. But everybody knew what the hell was going on, and they really did a good job with the neighborhood.
Like in Brooklyn, where I come from, in Canarsie, Brooklyn. You know what I mean? You knew who was who. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the way they dressed, the class.
Did you know Mr. Softy is from Canarsie?
Yes, he is. He's
It
from
started
Canarsie.
and we had Mr. Softy in Jersey, and I love it.
Yep.
But I gotta say, it's a Brooklyn thing. It started in Canarsie.
It started in Canarsie, Brooklyn.
Do you know who it was that did that? Or?
No, I don't know who did that. Actually, I lived in the Bayview Projects, where it was all Italians back then. It was Cubans, there was Spanish.
That's
there
why
was
me
Russian,
and Sal love talking about these things.
But
Similar
I tell you,
background.
going to school back then and the camaraderie of friends and everything ain't like today. They don't have no idea what a true friend is and how to be a friend. And I'm just an old school guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm down to earth and I'm true to you to the end.
Same
and that's
here.
just the way it is.
The thing is, these kids now, I don't know if I got to blame them or I got to blame the technology. They're on their phones all the time.
It's the technology.
They're always playing games. It's just.
They're too much in the house.
I mean, when I was a kid,
I was outside all the time.
I was outside playing stickball, baseball,
Hockey.
riding my bike.
Riding my bike, hockey.
I mean, skateboarding. Those were the things you did.
We hung out in the parks, you know what I mean?
And I always loved listening to the old timers tell the stories. And I think that's why I'm kind of doing this now, because I just love storytelling. My father, you met him.
Yep.
Love
Beautiful
to tell
man.
stories.
Beautiful
Thank
man.
you.
Oh, Maron. Beautiful man.
I
God
miss
rest
him
his soul.
dearly. Miss him
He was a
dearly.
good man, a family man.
Thank you. He was a great storyteller.
He has the old regime, just like the Italians. You know what I mean? Come in. Here, feed you. That's just the way
He made everybody
was.
feel at home.
He made everybody feel at home. The first day I came to the shop, he just he was like a father to me.
Thank you.
He was a good man, real good man. And now I got another good man right here. Best friend, good friend.
Thank you.
Honest. He'll do anything for you.
We're just trying to keep the legacy going, and these videos are really a great way to pay tribute to him, because he just loved history.
Yeah,
Anytime he found a piece of history, my God, he was like, this is so amazing. So he was so passionate about it. That's how I am.
When he talked to you, you just felt it. You know what I mean? He gave you goosebumps talking to you, your father. He just knows history. He knew how to, just the way
Big
he talked
shoes to
about
fill.
it. Oh, you got big shoes to fill, but you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
What you're doing now, you'll be proud of you.
Thank you very much.
And I'm telling you.
I appreciate that.
He's a good man.
On another note, these cigars are burning really good. Look at that.
And if you need a real good cigar,
What do you think about them?
they're really good. In Tarpon Springs here has a beautiful shop.
I love it down here.
You guys need to come
Isn't
check
this
it
great
out.
down here?
Oh, it's beautiful. You need to come check
The
it out.
weather, the people, the ambiance. I mean,
They're all hand rolled.
you got the Cubans, you got the Italians, you got the Greeks, yada, 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 bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
You know what I'm talking about.
That's a long. I haven't heard that in a while.
Anyway, is there anything else you want to add? I don't want to bore these guys to death.
No, we're not boring them. I think they're interested in this stuff. You know, I mean, they're old school like us. If the old schooler out there, they're gonna watch this. The young kids today, they don't know nothing what it's really like back in the 80s and 90s. They don't know nothing about it.
I'll tell you what, I'm having a hell of a fun time doing these videos.
I'm having a fun time. You know, this is us doing it together. Me and my best friend. What else can you do?
And me and Sal have already spoken about 2 or 3 other videos that we're going to do. So stay tuned, everybody.
Stay tuned.
In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and switch over so you guys can see the footage from the Hacienda Hotel and from Bayport and the Al Capone residences.
And please, don't forget to subscribe and like. We
That's
appreciate
right.
you watching our videos, and we're looking forward to making more so you guys can enjoy the old history. Take it easy.
Till next time. Tarpon sponger, triple wrappers. Just want to show you guys how beautiful these things are burning. Look at that. What do you think, Sal?
Beautiful.
That's all we can say about this.
And the taste is phenomenal.
We're definitely enjoying these. In this episode of Cigar Chat, we're going to go ahead and visit Bayport, Florida, which was the location where a lot of the Prohibition-era booze would come in from Cuba. And we're also going to visit some of the places where Al Capone stayed at here in the area during his visits here to the Tampa Bay area. We're on Highway 50 heading west all the way out to the Gulf so that you guys can see where Bayport is and the site of where the rum used to come in from Cuba during the Prohibition days. That's where the famous term rum running came from. Rum runners. They were the guys who used to bring in the rum from Cuba during the 20s. See, next 2 miles to Bayport. So Pine Island is to the right over here, and this charming restaurant that you guys see here, tucked in the middle of the swamps, is basically the Bayport Inn, which has been around for a long time. You can see the swamps are right back in there, full of alligators, and the Gulf is right around the corner here too. But here at the Bayport Inn, this hotel's been here for many, many years. It's basically at the mouth of the site here where they used to bring in the rum from Cuba and the booze during the Prohibition days. The historic Bayport Inn. Let's go down to Bayport now. You guys can see it. And here's historic Bayport Park. Right here at the mouth of the Bayport, where they used to bring in the rum. Let's go in there and check it out. Today's episode is going to be all about Prohibition era things and Al Capone and the 1920s gangsters. I think it's going to be a good episode. There's a few guys getting on their boats to go fishing today. Right out there. Basically, it's all swampland out here in the Gulf of Mexico. There's a pier right over there, which was recently rebuilt. So if you steer clear that way, then you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go check out that marker. Here's some history on Bayport and how it was incorporated and stuff like that. All the way back to 1885. How's it going, man?
Going.
Good day to go fishing. See, right back in there is where that during the Prohibition era they used to bring in the bootleg, the booze. Here we are over at Bayport, the site of the Prohibition era bootlegging days. Pretty interesting place here. Here we are turning into Newport Richie, Main Street, on our way to the historic Hacienda Hotel, site of where Al Capone and other notables such as Frank Sinatra stayed. Big mob hangout back in the day. Here we are, crossing the bridge over into Newport Richie, going to check out the Hacienda Hotel, the site of where Al Capone used to stay and other notables here in town when they would come to town. Beautiful Newport Richie. Here we are at the old Hacienda Hotel. This hotel was visited back in the day by such notables such as Al Capone, Frank Sinatra, Gloria Swanson, I think it is. Many famous people stayed here. The gorgeous Hacienda Hotel is made in the classic Spanish style. Originally built in 1927. It's under some renovations as we speak. Hopefully it'll be opening up again soon. It's located right here in the heart of downtown Newport Richey. This area's kind of been coming along real nice in the last couple of years. They've really been fixing it up, and it's coming along, you know, fantastic, really. Great piece of Florida history here. The old hacienda. Legend has it that during the Prohibition days, they used to have a secret tunnel underneath the building where they used to bring in the rum. And more than likely, it was the same rum that was coming from Cuba up through Bayport. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for watching, everybody. Here's the exterior side of the hacienda. Currently being renovated. Beautiful style. Kind of like the one in Coral Gables. The same old Spanish style. It looks like something out of the south of Spain. If you go to Sevilla and stuff. Just an amazing piece of history here in Newport Richey, Florida. Here we are making the coffee. Using brown sugar. It's all about the drip. It's coming out really nice. So there's the canuta. Little froth action coming out. That's the art of Cuban coffee, espresso. And there it is right there. All right, guys, I just want to say thanks again for watching our videos. Here's Sal and here's Tony. And on Frank Sinatra's birthday, they want to go ahead and say something.
Salute, Frank.
Thanks for watching, guys.